What's up, guys? Welcome back to Thoughts of the Pugilist podcast. Today's pugilist, or today's guest, is Rebecca Contrino, a professional Muay Thai fighter, an MMA fighter, obviously, and a dental hygienist out of all these things, and also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world bronze medalist.
Yes.
How you feeling?
Pretty good. Top shape.
Yeah? Even with the pandemic?
Even with the pandemic. Keep on plugging through.
So let's get right into it. Tell me, how'd you start all this? How'd you become a fighter?
It was just by chance. You know, I had a friend who, like me and her, we wanted to get in shape when we were younger. And so there happened to be a boxing gym in her neighborhood. So she's like, oh, why don't we try a couple classes? So that was my first experience ever with anything martial arts, really. And I just had a knack for it, like straight off the bat. Like I fell in love with it. And then one of the coaches there, he saw potential in me. And so when he approached me and said, like, hey, I see some potential in you. Do you think you'd want to fight one day? I said, yeah. I was like, why not? You know, like, let's see where this goes. You know, so that's kind of.
How old were you?
I think I was like 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 19
okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
You fight like you have a lot more experience than someone that started at 18.
Thank you. I don't know.
Oh, let's see. Why didn't you stick with boxing if you know, were first introduced to fighting from a boxing gym? Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like a wild story. Like I met people at the boxing gym. That gym closed down. Then one of the trainers there opened up his own gym. It was an MMA gym, but with a background in Dutch style kickboxing. So I just got way more into that. And then he introduced me to MMA. From MMA, I started to meet like other coaches and stuff like that. So it just kind of naturally progressed into.
How'd you get introduced to Jiu-Jitsu?
Jiu-Jitsu. Well, okay. So when I went to this new gym after the boxing gym closed down, they said, if you want to, I know you wanted to compete in boxing, but we don't do that here. We're doing MMA. So if you're still interested in competing, we'd love to have you. So I was like, cool. I didn't know what MMA was at the time, so I looked into it. You know, I watched a couple Georges St. Pierre fights. You know, the man. You know, and so I was like, wow, this is so cool. I had never even heard of jiu-jitsu before, but I felt like comfortable as a striker, and I just knew like if I wanted to be successful in MMA, that I would have to like just develop a ground game.
You have to know what to do when you're on the floor.
Yeah, that was it. So.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Not that I'm interested in MMA, like competing in MMA, but yeah, I certainly learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what's the ultimate goal for you in fighting?
Just want to see where I can go.
Yeah?
You know, that's it. Yeah, just keep it simple. Yeah. I always, like, for me, like I said before, I never had exposure to this. So it wasn't like my dream was to become anything in specific. It was just all about challenging myself. Like, what's the next challenge? What's the next step? You know, let's see how far I can take it. Like, if I can go to the top, then let's go, you know?
Yeah,
but we'll see what happens, yeah.
So you've competed in, I'm going to leave some out, but from what I know, from what I can remember, obviously Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, and wrestling.
Kickboxing and MMA.
Kickboxing and MMA.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. MMA, sorry.
Yeah. I've trained like a bit of wrestling and obviously a bit of boxing too, but those are the four that I've like competed in.
Okay. Yeah. What can you say about the pressure of each competition? Like I know that you mentioned earlier that competing in Jiu-Jitsu, the pressure is different than competing in kickboxing, for example. Yeah,
for me personally, that's been my experience. Like with Jiu-Jitsu, it's tournament style, so you have like hundreds of grapplers in the same space. They're all warming up, they're all doing their thing. It's like a whole vibe. and then you don't have too many spectators, and the spectators that are there are usually other members in the grappling community or like close family or something, you know? Whereas when I've done like kickboxing
Close
shows,
family?
yeah.
What type of family do you have?
Well, my
watching
family
you?
doesn't come, but like other friends' families might come, you know,
Okay.
like their moms and dads.
I thought you had
or
your
whatever.
grandma at the, you know.
And she comes to my MMA fights.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She does. But
Does that add pressure or does that relieve pressure?
a bit of both.
Yeah?
Yeah, like definitely having my family there to support means like everything to me, you know. So the fact that they're there, they're coming. But yeah, of course, it adds a bit of pressure because you want to perform even better, you know, that they're there too.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
How much does that change the way you fight, if they're there or not?
If someone's watching versus not, that's a good question. Because to me, like I always want to imagine that I'm giving 100% no matter what the circumstances are. Like I've been to tournaments where I've had nobody supporting me. It was just like me and my coaches because it was so far or whatever. And I would still give my 100%. But yeah, definitely having like your friends, your family, it just adds to the hype. Like it's amazing.
Does having your family around make you want to take care of yourself more when you're fighting?
What do you mean by that exactly?
Like, so if you were fighting and you're visibly hurt, does that change your reaction to being visibly hurt? Say you're cut or you just got wobbled. Does that, knowing that your family's watching or watching live, does that affect the way you're going to react to, getting hit or?
I'd like to think so. Like I'd like to think that's what's gonna drive me to push me to keep going. But also at the bottom line, I just want to keep that characteristic no matter what the circumstance. You know, I always want to keep going, like, and finish the fight, and keep going until I physically can't anymore. You know, when I'm in the fight, I'm really like that's what I'm focused on. I'm not worried about how's my face gonna feel 3 days from now.
Right.
You know, like.
But are you at all? Are you at all concerned when you're fighting? Again, because for me, I remember one time my mom watched me box, and I told her not to come inside, but I saw her headlights from outside the window. I was in mid fight. I saw her headlights outside the building we were fighting in, and it was incredibly distracting. And it wasn't a very serious fight. It wasn't like I was fighting for a title or like golden glove or silver glove or anything like that. So I knew that the outcome doesn't really matter that much. Although I still wanted to win, but it made me feel like it's not just that I didn't want to get hurt. I didn't want to miss. You know what I mean? And I got very, very tense, and I just started throwing like big shots because I knew she was watching. And then later I realized that's the worst possible way to think about it.
Yeah, like I really just try to get in the zone as much as possible. You know, I have a routine of what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna warm up, what I'm gonna eat throughout the day. Like I try to keep everything very planned routine so that I'm just focused on what I'm doing, you know. I'm not worried about what other people are thinking. I'm not worried about, I'm just worried about myself and how am I gonna perform in the fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any superstitions?
Not like superstitions. Like it's not the end of the world.
Because you said you plan the entire day.
Yeah.
So.
I know. I definitely have routines. So like I really like going for a drive the night before, just by myself, like whatever, doing my thing. I wear like the same like sports bra that I have since the first fight I've ever done. Yeah. And I've gotten a lot bigger since, but I'm still wearing it.
It fits.
So, but like at the end of the day, I can't do that for whatever reason. Like it's not gonna throw me off to the point where like I'm gonna lose the fight because of it. But it's just things that I do to try to keep me in that zone.
Do you try and hang out with fighters when it's around fight time?
Yeah, absolutely. Like fight camp time, you need people around you who know what you're going through, who are there to support you. Not to say like my friends who are non-fighters like hold me back or anything. But it's just they don't quite get it.
You're right.
They can sympathize,
understand.
but
Yeah.
they can't really empathize with like all the sacrifices you have to make and how hard you're training and
The
what
weight
you're
cuts and
and what the abuse that's going on mentally, to
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
When, I don't know about you, but when I'm like in training camp, like I'm super, super hard on myself.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not always in the best attitude if I have to hang out
Absolutely.
with my friends or whatever. So it's always good to have like support around you who are pushing you, who are kind of been in the same situation,
Right.
I find that helps a lot. Yeah.
So you're a very busy girl. You're a dental hygienist, you're a coach, and a fighter at the same time. How much does fight week or just competition in general affect your life in other aspects of your life, like
it adds a lot of stress. Obviously, you're trying to balance everything. Like there's always like excuses, not to train. It's like, oh yeah, but I had school or I had work. Like I did a 12-hour shift. I'm tired. I don't really feel like training right now. I'm not going to perform well. But you have to like overcome that, because if you miss training, then you're just hindering yourself. So you have to like, at least for me, I really had to learn like, okay, like time when I'm going to sleep,
Right.
when am I going to eat, like how can I fit in these trainings while also like keeping up with everything else that I'm doing
With life.
in life. Yeah. So it's hard, but when you have like a goal, you'll make it happen. If you really believe in yourself and you really believe in your goal, nothing's gonna stop you. You're gonna make it happen. You could be as busy as you want. You could, like if you want something and you start work at 7, okay, wake up at 5 and go for your run. Like you can, if you want it, you'll figure it out.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Another thing I wanted to ask you about earlier when we said superstition was your tattoo.
Yes.
Tell us about your tattoo. Why do you have that there? Where'd you get it?
Tattoo. Okay, this is it's called a sakyant. So it's like a tattoo that brings like protection. So I got this in Thailand. It's very popular there because
It's the fighting.
The culture of it. It's very Muay Thai is very interlaced spiritually. So this tattoo is supposed to bring me protection, make me invulnerable. And I put it on my arm to remind me to stay strong, and I put it somewhere visible so that I'll always remind myself. Like I see it all the time. So if I'm feeling down, if I'm beating myself up, like I'll catch a glimpse of it, and it's like, no, Rebecca, like stay strong. Remember why you're doing this. Remember what you've been through to do this.
I am the one.
Like Rose, I'm the best. But yeah, so that's the long story short about this tattoo. You'll see tons of Thai fighters have it, and there's all different styles of it. There's the 2 tigers is a very common one. There's the 4 lions. They usually get them on the back. Hanuman also a very common one because he's like one of the more powerful gods that fights.
I see.
Yeah, God's warrior. Yeah. Technically.
Do you think that a lot of fighters have to find some type of spiritual meaning in what they're doing because of how mentally abusive the sport is?
I think just finding anything to keep you going and keep you on track with your goals, So that could mean many different things for everyone, and it's just about finding the one that suits you most, So me, like I'm very visual, that's why I have these tattoos visibly in my room. I have like pictures of like some of my highlights and stuff, so I remember like how good it feels.
Again, I'm the one. I'm the chosen one.
Yeah, how good it felt to like get that win. How good it felt like despite all the sacrifice. Like just find things, whether that's spiritual, whether that's something else, like anything to keep you on track.
I see.
Yeah.
Does being on track for you change depending on what you're doing outside of fighting?
Like
does your standard change for training?
What do you mean? Can you be?
I mean, if you have a lot of goals, not just fighting.
Yeah.
You're a student, a dental hygienist, a coach. Do you ever feel like you're not able to like compartmentalize. Sorry, cut that out. Anyway, do you ever feel like you're not able to kind of put each thing that you're doing in different sections?
Compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize. Exactly. Hey, I've been doing a lot of work at home. Okay, we're fixing a lot of things in the house. I haven't slept a lot.
No judgment. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a skill I've been, constantly working on. Because to me too, like I kind of take like what I've learned in fighting into what I do outside of fighting too. So if I'm working with a client or something, I'm focused completely on the client. I'm not thinking about how crap I was at jiu-jitsu like 2 hours before. I'm like, how do I fix the patient? How do I make them feel better?
Do you ever get angry while you're doing someone's teeth?
No.
No? God damn it, I got choked out. Yeah. And you poke them with something.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm definitely sure. Yeah.
Now, is fighting as an amateur worth it if you're not, reaching for the stars?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
I hear a lot of fighters say that it's not worth it. Like, just learning it is worth it, but an amateur career.
You need to like test out what you're learning too. Yeah, anyone can hit a bag, but are your techniques sharp enough to if you're facing someone else, Because
it goes down.
Yeah, like what happens if you're at a bar, and then someone tries to fight you, but you've never been in that situation before. Like you need to be able to test out what you're working for, and it's just like a test of character too. You're just exposing yourself for what you're really made of, and I think that's a great thing for anyone, because a lot of people like to talk but can't back it up.
Oh, too many people.
Yeah,
especially our generation.
Yeah. So this is
phones.
a great way of like just of humbling yourself, of getting to know yourself better. Like how much can you take? Like what's your like what's your drawing point or whatever the expression is? Like how much can you take?
Right. How far can you go?
It's just a great way to test that, and that's why I think everyone should do it. I mean, ideally, like you don't want to get hurt doing it. So if you're someone who has like a lot of concussions and stuff, then yeah, obviously don't start.
Careful.
Yeah, but for the general population, I think it's worth it for everyone.
Do you think it should be taught in schools? That's always an argument I see in
like
boxing forums.
Of course.
Really?
Yeah, it's self-defense. It's like it's a basic human.
Yeah, we're humans have been fighting.
You learn how to eat. You learn how to defend yourself in a fight.
Right.
Like, that's how it should be.
No,
in my opinion.
You're right. You're right. Well, speaking of bar fights, if I were to be in a bar, since you know kickboxing and boxing and wrestling and jiu-jitsu, let's say you were in a bar and you were getting attacked by, say you were a guy with really big muscles, and
I got big muscles.
No, you already do have big muscles. I don't, but I can box. If you were to pick one martial art just for self-defense, which one would it be? You don't say MMA.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, jiu-jitsu, for sure.
How come?
Because I don't know, there's so much involved with it, and like you learn how to like control the opponent and like set them down. If you get them in a submission, put them to sleep for a bit, then leave. It's I don't know. It's very versatile, and especially in a bar fight where things are super unpredictable. I don't know the size of the guy I'm fighting. I don't want to start throwing hands with someone who's better at throwing hands than me, or if they have a knife, or who knows what,
right.
That's why I think jiu-jitsu.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm very biased because I think boxing is the best sport in the world. I love MMA and I love jiu-jitsu, but I think boxing is the best sport in the world because I'm biased. But I actually prepared this question, and I thought you might say
Muay Thai?
No, well, I thought you might say Muay Thai or anything but boxing. The argument that I have for jiu-jitsu is if you're on the ground and you're choking somebody out, you're vulnerable because you're on the ground. Like someone can kick you or something.
Like someone else? Yeah, but now this
no, but
theory
yeah,
is
you're
getting
in a bar
like,
fight. You're in a bar fight. You're in a bar fight. They have friends.
I have friends too.
No, you're
and
by
all my
yourself.
friends are fighters, just so you know.
All right, fine, you win. No, we're gonna argue about this.
Okay.
You're by yourself.
Okay.
You're by yourself.
Yeah.
And well, you can't just choke someone out and then, you know.
Okay, I'm by myself. There's this big dude who wants to scrap with me, and he has 3 friends.
Right.
now, I'm gonna run.
No. You're in the corner. Come on, you're in the corner. You're in the corner.
Yeah.
Is boxing the best martial art in that case?
I don't think so. I don't know if
I think it is. I
take 4
certainly
dudes.
think it is.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be if they're unexperienced. You know, you land the strikes, you knock them all out, for sure.
Okay.
But
I find it incredibly disrespectful of you to say if they're inexperienced, you land the strikes. Are you saying boxers can't street fight?
no, I'm saying unexperienced people. So now the 4 people are all experienced boxers.
Okay.
In this situation,
Here. They took boxing. They
Okay.
took self-defense.
Okay.
And they don't know karate, but they know crazy.
Okay.
That type of dude. Is boxing the best martial art? I just
No,
need you to hear
I
it
would
one
just-
time.
No, jiu-jitsu. I'm choking them all out. I'm going for their legs, like.
Okay, my argument for why boxing it would be the better one, way better than jiu-jitsu ever will be. I'm pushing it, sorry.
Let's go.
Is because you learn to measure your distance a lot better than jiu-jitsu.
Oh, is that so?
I think so.
Why don't you come to the mat sometime?
Okay, hold on. Okay, we had this conversation before, years ago. I told you that if me and you ever scrapped, I would
Yeah.
just keep you away with my jab.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take you down.
How are you gonna take me down? You can't get to me. I'm slapping you around with my jab.
I'm gonna take you down.
You're not gonna take me down. You
Okay.
can't move your feet like a
Okay,
boxer.
next video, we're gonna reenact this.
Talk to the audience. We're gonna reenact
Okay, the next
this.
video, me and him, he's doing boxing, I'm doing jiu-jitsu.
We're in a boxing ring. Have some respect. Okay, this is a boxing gym. This is a boxing ring. Have some
Okay.
respect.
Okay.
Okay, we pioneered fighting.
No
Probably
disrespect
not.
on boxing.
Just me. Just me. One more thing I wanted to ask you, just because you've competed in so many, so many martial arts. Walk me through fight week for you. Walk me through your emotions. Walk me through
Fight
your
week.
thought process.
Every day, 7 times a day, I'm stepping on that scale. Am I gonna make the weight? What do I gotta do? How much water can I drink today? And then so aside from just stressing about that, fight week, like you train hard the beginning of the week, and then you kind of take it easy. You recover. It's more technical stuff like drills that you're working on, and you're just getting into the zone. So like I'll meditate a lot that week. I'll spend a lot of time with myself. I'll try to relax, visualize the fight 100 million times a day, like just obsess over it.
While you're cleaning teeth,
And
you're like visualizing, I'm gonna choke her out.
Do a little.
So you never scratched anyone thinking of these things?
No,
Never?
No, never.
Okay.
I'm in the zone. I'm always in the zone. So yeah, that's it. It's a lot of visualization. It's making sure that I'm on point, that I'm getting enough sleep, that I'm doing everything that I can to, be in top shape for the big day.
Okay, and tell me about the walkout, because I know everybody describes it in a different way, the walkout, what they feel. Let's face it, we're all scared, we're all terrified. How do you feel when you're walking to the ring?
The best feeling in the world.
The best feeling?
The best feeling, aside from winning, walking out into that ring, you got your music playing, you have the crowd cheering, like it's just the lights, the sounds, like your opponent's like right behind you or they're already in the ring, and it's like, that it's showtime, Best feeling.
What's going through your head? Are you thinking, are you still visualizing, Are you worried at all, or are you gaining more and more confidence as?
That's it. Like now it's showtime. This is everything you've been sacrificing for, everything you've been training for. Like now is the time to express yourself and make it happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you enjoy the walkout.
I love it.
What about right before the walkout, when you're in the
when
locker
you're
room?
warming up,
Yeah.
and your opponent's like right next to you warming up.
When does the anxiety kick in for you?
All the 3 months before the fight, you know, definitely not the day of.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to be anxious the day of. Like I need to be in the zone.
You're not anxious the day of the fight?
Why that? Like I've done all these steps to try to make sure that I'm not anxious. Of course, I'm gonna have nerves and everything, but it's not like debilitating anxiety. It's good nerves. It's like I'm about to do this, you know.
Okay.
Like this is what we've been working for. Like let's go.
You have a much better attitude than a lot of people on fight day.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
I've seen people in locker rooms, not even just in locker rooms. I've seen people at weigh-ins that can hardly get out of their chair.
That's because they're so dehydrated.
No. I mean, yeah, that too, honestly. But they can't get out of the chair. You can see their eyes are just, they're like popping out. Not because they're dehydrated, but I wouldn't say it's fear, but I've seen. I won't name anybody because I don't want to be rude. But I've seen one guy in particular that actually did very well. The fight of TKO victory, like easy work. But the right after the weigh-in, he was sitting down like this, like his legs were spread out. And he was just like staring in the mirror, and he was like, he was shaking, and his coach was massaging his back, like, come on, like, chill out, you got this, you got this.
It's stressful, you can't deny it. You're about to go scrap with someone in front of a huge audience, you know?
Right.
So yeah.
But you don't feel the anxiety the day of?
I do my best not to, you know, I'm so excited to fight. Like I love fighting, and any chance, to me, especially like it's harder for women, there's a lot less of us, you know, so it's like any chance I fight, it's like I get to do this, you know.
Okay.
It's like a privilege that it's something I could do. So of course there's gonna be nerves. I don't wanna, you know, lose. I don't wanna get hurt, especially in front of everyone. But like what overpowers all those nerves is just the excitement to actually, you know, get the chance to perform.
Do you enjoy the actual act of fighting?
Yeah. Of course, that's why I do it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. I enjoy everything in between.
No way. What do you mean?
I like being good at it. I don't like doing it. It's hard. It hurts.
So what's fun about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we have completely different point of views about it. But no, we completely have different point of views about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So last time you were here, I told you that we were going to play a game where I name fighters and you describe them with one word and one sentence.
It's going to be the same thing.
And you suck at this game.
Okay, good.
McGregor, yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Damian Maia, yeah, he's great. He's a great fighter. Great fighter. So instead of doing that, I'm going to ask you to give me your top 5 list.
Top 5.
Both female, male, in UFC, out of UFC. Bellator, one championship, just all of MMA, period.
Okay. Can I just say all my teammates because I'm super biased?
Yeah, if you want.
There's me, there's, you know.
There's me.
Yeah, but seriously, like I love Valentina. I love Joanna.
Top 5.
Okay, those two for sure. Obviously, George St. Pierre. So 2 left. How do I pick? Well, I love watching Gordon Ryan, you know. He's a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
I find him, like, very entertaining. And then for my 5th one, it's hard to say because I really liked Zhang Wei Li. But Rose is like...
Yeah, Rose is
Rose,
a gangster.
Man,
She's
you know?
a gangster.
So I'll say Rose. Yeah. So
can you name a few up-and-coming MMA fighters from Montreal?
From Montreal?
Or from, you know, your teammates or your area, somebody that you think is promising that everybody should check out, other than yourself.
Okay, well, my teammate Dylan, he's the Best.
Dylan what? Can we get a last name?
I probably don't know how to pronounce it,
No?
but I'll
It's right here. It's right there. We're gonna put it right here.
Yeah,
Click
Dylan.
here.
Danny, also, like, he's amazing. I love, honestly, all my teammates, I love watching them fight. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for your time.
My pleasure.
Big shout out to Monstrosity, Kings of Queens Boxing, and check out my homegirl, Rebecca Contrino, on Instagram. And next time you go to the dentist, be very nice to the dental hygienist because she will choke you the fuck out. Peace!